You ever RSVP to something online, you're all excited, and then you realize it never actually made it onto your calendar? Or maybe you've clicked that Add to Calendar button, and suddenly you're in some weird, confusing login loop. Yeah, you are not alone. Okay, let's dive into the surprisingly chaotic world of digital event invitations and figure out just why this whole system feels so broken.
And this quote from our source material, man, it just hits the nail on the head. You've got all these well-meaning developers and marketers trying to solve a pretty simple problem, getting an event onto your calendar. But what they ended up creating was this tangled, frustrating mess of workarounds.
And that mess, it actually has a name. The source for this whole explainer calls it a burning trash bin. And honestly, that feels about right. It's a perfect metaphor for the inefficient, friction-filled experience that both the people sending invites and you, the person getting them, have to deal with every single day. So, how did we even get here?
To really get this chaos, we gotta look under the hood at the tech. Turns out, there's a silent war being fought for control of your schedule.
See, this isn't just one system that's broken. It's a full-on showdown between two completely different ways of thinking about the same problem. So, let's meet our two contenders.
In one corner, we have our hero, the native calendar invite. You know, the direct, seamless invitation you might get from a colleague. And in the other corner, we've got the workaround, that Add to Calendar button we see absolutely everywhere. But, as you're about to see, it's kind of the villain in disguise.
So, the Add to Calendar button. It was basically a patch, you know? Marketers needed a quick and dirty way to get an event from a web page onto your calendar. And it works by just giving you a static file. It's called an iCal file that you download and import. The key thing here is it's a one-way street. It just kind of throws the file over the wall and hopes for the best.
A native invite, though, is a completely different ballgame. It's a direct conversation. The organizer's calendar server is talking directly to your calendar app, and they're both using these universal internet rules. So it's not a file download, it's a real two-way communication.
Now this is where it gets really interesting, seeing how that difference plays out in the real world. The first major fail of the Add to Calendar button, it comes down to a simple problem of translation.
You've seen this, right? Of course you have. This number, 4, represents that gauntlet of choices you always seem to face. A button for Google, one for Apple, one for Microsoft, maybe one for Yahoo. Why do we have to do this?
It's because each of these giants handles those iCal files just a little bit differently. They don't all speak the exact same language. So if you click the wrong button, it just doesn't work. And if you click the right one but you're not logged in, well, you hit another wall. It's just one roadblock after another.
And this is where our hero just shines. A native calendar invite doesn't need 4 different buttons, because it speaks the universal language of the internet, the standards set by the Internet Engineering Task Force. It just works everywhere, every time.
Okay, so just getting the event on the calendar is a mess. But what about the simple act of telling the organizer if you're even coming? Let's move on, because this is where the problem gets even bigger.
This is the fatal flaw of the workaround. Remember how we said it's just a file download? Well, because of that, it has absolutely no way to send your response, your yes, no, or maybe back to the organizer. It's a one-way communication dead end.
So to fix this, they created this clunky bolt-on system. You click an RSVP button, then you get whisked away to a totally separate web page, and then you have to fill out yet another form. It's this completely disconnected, multi-step process that just piles on the friction.
But the absolute worst-case scenario for this workaround method, it happens when something changes. The event time, the location, the Zoom link. This is where the Add to Calendar system just completely falls apart.
I mean, just look at this workflow. For an organizer to make one simple change, they have to jump through all these hoops. Log in, change the data, regenerate the links, update that separate RSVP form, and then blast out a whole new email hoping that everyone sees it and then manually updates their own calendars? What a nightmare.
And the native invite? How do you update that? Oh, you just open the event on your calendar, change the time, and hit save. That's it. Seriously. The update is automatically pushed to every single person's calendar. The simplicity is just staggering when you put them side by side. So, after looking at all this, the protocols, the RSVPs, the updates, the path forward becomes incredibly clear. Let's put these two contenders side by side one last time.
Yeah, the scorecard isn't even close, is it? Does it update natively? Does it collect RSVPs? Does it work everywhere? Is it a true two-way conversation? The native calendar invite gets a yes all the way down while the workaround fails on every single count. It's a knockout.
The bottom line is this: a native invite creates a living, breathing connection. It's a real dialogue between the organizer and your calendar. Your RSVP gets sent back automatically, and that connection stays open for any future updates. And it works perfectly, no matter what phone, computer, or language you use.
So this brings us to the very heart of the problem, a quote that really explains everything. If native invites are so much better, why is our digital world filled with that frustrating 4-button workaround?
It's the million-dollar question, isn't it? We have a technology that is just vastly superior, one that provides a better experience for everyone involved, yet we are all stuck in this burning trash bin of workarounds. What gives?
And the answer is surprisingly simple. The systems that marketers use, the big email platforms and web tools, they were never built to send native calendar invites to a lot of people. They were built for one-way blasts. This has created a massive technological gap, a gap that has defined our entire frustrating online event experience, and a gap that is only now finally starting to get closed.